I'll never forget the way she turned her face that night, like my lips were something disgusting. I leaned in to kiss her soft, gentle like I always did before bed, and she just turned away. Then in the coldest tone I'd ever heard, she said, "Today is not a day for intimacy. Get out." At first I laughed, thought she was joking, but she didn't even look at me. Her eyes stayed glued to her phone, screen lighting up her face in that dull blue glow. I stood there, halfway between hurt and confusion. "What's that supposed to mean?" I asked. She sighed, rolled her eyes, and said, "It means exactly what I said. Just leave me alone tonight." And that was it. No explanation, no warmth. Just distance. You know, when you've lived with someone long enough, you start to notice the little changes before they even happen. A different perfume. A new way of doing their hair. A phone that's always face down now when it never used to be. But when you love someone, you brush it off. You tell yourself she's just stressed. It's work. It's nothing. That night, though, something shifted. The way she looked through me like I wasn't even there. It hit different. I slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling, thinking about how we got there. We'd been married 5 years. Met in college. She was the kind of woman who lit up a room, always laughing, always had people around her. I was quieter, more grounded. But she said that's what she loved about me. "You make me feel safe," she'd tell me. I held on to those words like they were sacred. But somewhere along the way, I guess safe became boring. The next morning, she was acting normal again. Cheerful, making coffee, humming to herself. She even kissed my cheek like nothing happened. I wanted to ask her about last night, but the way she smiled made me swallow the question. I told myself not to start drama over something small. But it wasn't small. Over the next few weeks, the little things started stacking up. Late nights at work. Random giggles at her phone. New clothes I hadn't seen before. She'd get defensive if I asked where she was going. "Why do you always have to question me, Ryan? Can't a woman have space?" Of course she could. I wasn't controlling. I was just trying to hold on to what we had. Then one night I came home early. She didn't know. Her car was in the driveway, lights off in the house, but when I walked in I heard her voice from upstairs. Soft, low, but unmistakable. She was laughing. I froze at the bottom of the stairs, listening. "Stop, you're so bad," she whispered, her tone that flirty one I hadn't heard in months. My stomach turned. I took one step up, then another, heart pounding. But before I reached the top I heard her say, No, I can't, he's downstairs sometimes." "Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow." Tomorrow. I didn't go up. I didn't want to see her face right then. I went back outside, sat in my car, and just stared at the steering wheel for what felt like hours. The next day I decided to test something. I told her I'd be working late, but really I parked 2 blocks away and waited. At 7:15, a car pulled up in front of our house. A dark blue sedan. A man stepped out, tall, clean-cut, the kind of guy who looked like he knew he was good-looking. He walked right up to our front door, and she opened it without hesitation. Not like a friend, not like a neighbor, like someone she'd been waiting for. He didn't even knock. My hand started shaking. I grabbed my phone, recorded everything. I don't know why. Maybe I needed proof that I wasn't crazy. About an hour later, I saw the lights upstairs go out. That was enough for me. The next morning she acted normal again. Same smile, same good morning kiss. And I swear that was what broke me the most. That she could lie to my face so easily. So I played along. I told her I was going on a weekend work trip. Left Friday morning like always. But I doubled back that night and parked in the same spot. Her car was still there. His was too. I sat there in the dark, watching the house I'd built for us become the stage for her betrayal. Every light that went off in that house felt like another piece of me dying. At around 1 a.m., the front door opened. She came out with him, hair messy, wearing one of my shirts. They laughed. She kissed him on the porch, right under the same porch light she and I had installed together 2 summers ago. That was the moment it stopped being heartbreak, it became anger. Cold, quiet anger. I waited until she went back inside, then I left. The next morning, I packed her things into boxes. Every photo, every shoe, every dress. When she came home that evening, she froze in the doorway. "Ryan, what is this?" I didn't yell. I didn't even look at her. I just said, "Today's not a day for lies. Get out." She started crying, swearing it wasn't what it looked like, that she made a mistake, that it was just physical. But that's the thing. When someone looks you in the eye and lies, that's worse than the cheating itself. I told her the house wasn't hers anymore. The lease had already been switched. I had video proof and I wasn't about to let her play the victim. She begged, screamed, even tried to guilt me. Said I was throwing away years of love. But the truth was she had already done that. I just hadn't accepted it until then. When she finally drove away, I stood there at the window watching the taillights fade. For the first time in months, the house was quiet. That night, I sat on the couch. The same couch I'd slept on the night she first turned her face away. And I realized something. Love doesn't die all at once. It fades piece by piece, every time someone chooses themselves over you. And when it's finally gone, there's just silence. Now, sometimes I catch myself missing her laugh, her warmth, the way she'd dance around the kitchen while cooking. But then I remember that moment, when I went to kiss her and she turned away. That was the night she told me without words that she wasn't mine anymore. And that's the night I started learning how to be okay with that.